Welcome to the Vilest Rag, a podcast created by the Ubyssey student newspaper. I'm Elena Massing, I'm the Ubyssey's features editor and your host for today. I hope everyone has been having a good finals season, or pre-finals season. It's for this reason that I don't have any special guests joining me for the intro today, so it's back to just me. But because of that, we're going to keep it short and sweet. We're going to jump right into the pieces that we published this week so we can get right into that interview. All right. And starting with news, Leonard Foster and Mark McLean elected as faculty representatives to the Board of Governors, and Matt Tan re-elected as staff representative to the Board of Governors. We have write-ups on both of those by Will Gust. And AMS Council plans to change investment strategy, move club's common space in a council recap written by Trinity Sala with photos by Sidney Shaw. And of course, in that, more updates on UBC Skytrain, as always. And in arts and culture, the Sri Lankan Students Association gives love a green flag at blind dating event, written by Natalie Vakulin with photos by Sidney Shaw. We also have philosophizing and essay writing with the UBC Ballpoint Society, written by Navita Dutta, with photos by Alea Kippen. This was an interesting piece for me, I think, bringing back the art of the handwritten essay. So, and also in arts and culture, we have Sofia Avellino sings Elis Regina and brings Bossa Nova to BC, written by myself, with photos by Raul del Rosario. In sports and recreation, some hockey updates. In women's hockey, the Thunderbirds dominate Pandas for the third time this season by Luisa Teixeira with photos by Zoe Wagner. And T-Birds blow out Golden Bears 8-4 thanks to wicked counterpunch in men's hockey by Caleb Peterson with photos by Licia Lowe. So wins for UBC hockey all around. In research, Dr. Alan Jacobs on how social mobility relates to the rise of the far right. That was written by Saba Mad with illustrations by Ayla Cilliers. And finally, in humor, a P-Man throwback. When the world needed him most, he disappeared, written by Kyla Flynn with illustrations by Samriddhi Kejriwal. So you can read all of these pieces and more at our website, ubyssey.ca, which is updated daily. And in this episode of the Vilest Rag, I'm having another conversation with a member of our editorial board. This week, I spoke to Sidney Shaw, our photo editor, about photojournalism. And you can stay tuned after that to learn about the history of the Thunderbird as the name for our sports teams. And that is explained by columnist Quyen Schroeder. So that's all from me for now, and we'll be back after a short break. Sidney Shaw is the Ubyssey's photo editor, and I really, truly am so excited for this episode because I think photojournalism is the thing that I suck the most at. I have yet to take a good photo. They're all so grainy, so blurry. So I'm excited to learn more about what you do, and I really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So, as usual, before we get into the Ubyssey of it all, what are you doing at UBC? What are you studying? Or what did you study, rather?
I studied global resource systems with a specialization in sustainable agriculture. Yeah, LFS moment. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. You're like the biggest bird and plant guy I know. It's so awesome. Your desk is just like a dream.
You should go to birding club. There are people there who like know birds by sound, but thank you for that.
I claim to be a bird enjoyer, but okay. I'm like nowhere close to your level or anyone else's level. I have been trying to make it to a UBC birding, like bird walk.
Oh, okay.
For like at least a year now, and I keep saying I'm gonna go to the next one, and then I don't. But maybe it'll happen. Are you part of it?
I am.
Have you been?
Yes. It is the best thing ever because we just look at birds and people there know they're birds, so they tell you the birds and you don't have to know anything.
What does the average bird walk look like? Like what exactly happens? I'm always a little intimidated because I don't know much. I just look at bird and I say, wow, pretty.
It pretty much is that. You know, usually it's like a 10 a.m. on like a Saturday or Sunday, and then y'all congregate and you walk, and then you stop after like 5 seconds when you see a bird, and everyone just stands there for another half an hour, and you walk a tiny bit more. It's like hiking, but like you don't have to be fit for it. Yeah.
What's the coolest bird that you've seen on one of those walks?
Marigander?
What does that look like?
It has like a brownish stripe on the back of its head, but it has like a long neck. It's like a water bird. Yeah, it kind of looks like a goose but fancy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite bird?
Barn owl, I think. Yeah.
That's a good choice. I saw an owl in real life, like out in the wild for the first time a couple weeks ago. I was in Surrey and there was just an owl flying by, and I was like, whoa, that's a little bonkers.
What color?
I couldn't tell. It was quite dark.
Okay.
But I want to say it was brown.
Okay.
But I might be completely wrong. I might be spreading misinformation.
I did see a barred owl at Westbrook in front of Save on Foods, and then it swooped down in front of me and ate a mouse that was in the bush next to Save on Foods.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When I was in like, I don't know what grade it was, but early elementary school, we had an owl unit, and they brought in an owl to class that we got to touch it. But then we dissected owl pellets. Okay. And I found like a whole mouse skull in mine, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, that's that's enough on birds for now, I guess. But back to photography. You're the photo editor here at the newspaper. So what does that mean? What is your job?
Basically, anytime anyone in the newspaper needs a photo, they come to me. So we supply photos for like all the sections. Like the big one is kind of sports, and then also culture, and then like research. Sometimes we'll send a photographer. We're trying to incorporate like photography more in news as well, humor as well, because those are always really fun. Yeah, pretty much all the sections. I'm sorry, whatever editors I may have forgotten just now. Features. Yeah, so we take the photos, we edit them, put captions and tag them in the CMS, and then they're there when you open the article. Yeah.
You have to do so much running around, and I so admire your willpower in doing so. I covered this event for culture, I want to say it was 2 years ago now. When was it? I don't know. But it was Goose Hunt, Blank Vinyl Project's music festival, and we were trying to get like video interviews, but also photos, but also we didn't have that many cameras, and there was like 3 of us, and none of us really knew how to take photos, so we were kind of just like running around trying to figure out what to do, and it was super hectic, but it was really fun. But I am very grateful for the work that you and your contributors do, because I don't know if that could be me. But yeah, what brought you to the Ubyssey? What did you first start in photography, or were you doing writing as well?
I think I started in humor, but like I did photo around the same time. So I think I started in my second year. Wrote a lot of humor because I was like, I have funny ideas and I want to write them. But then I kind of did photo because like photo is just something I've always done. So it seemed like a natural thing to do. And then, I ended up the photo editor a couple of years later, which has been really fun because I get to take a lot more photos than I did back when I was a contributor.
Mm-hmm. Did you have much photo experience coming into the Ubyssey? Like, what was your background in photography? How did you first get interested in it?
My dad had a camera, like, it was one of, like, the earliest digital Canon cameras. Yeah, so I kind of played with that. And then in elementary school, I was, like, the audiovisual cabinet minister. So,
What?
audiovisual cabinet. Minister of Audiovisual Cabinet.
What is that? Is this an Ontario thing? Like, I have never heard of this in my life.
Like, media is audio and visual, and if you put them together, they're audio visual. So, like, video, well, I don't know, what is
what's the cabinet? Like, of your whole school?
Yeah, I don't really know why they called them cabinets. They're basically clubs, but they called them cabinets to make us feel good, I suppose.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Yeah, they may have changed the name by now, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I did not get that.
Okay. What was the audiovisual part?
That makes sense.
Okay,
I
cool.
picked up on the audiovisual, not so much the whole cabinet minister thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you know what? Maybe it's not my thing to understand.
Yes.
But why did you want to become photo editor? Like, why was an editor position the right thing for you, do you think? I guess it's not necessarily related to what you're studying also, so it's kind of a detour.
It's definitely a detour. I think, like, throughout I was kind of like, it would be really cool to be editor, because then you just get more assignments and, like, you get to, like, cover so much more and, like, learn so much more. But then I was like, nah, I'm gonna finish my degree in 4 years. And then I had a dream, like, the day before we had to put our posters up to, like, run for editor, and the dream was like, what if I just was editor next year? So then I did that April, and yeah, I was, like, applying to, like, farm jobs that month, and then I was like, actually, I guess maybe not. Yeah.
Do you think your dream was right, or do you think it led you astray?
What? I think my dream was right. I really like this job, and I think even if I don't do photojournalism long term, like, I think this year I've just, like, learned so much, and it's really given me a chance to, like, build my creative skills, which is not really something I got to do in my science degree. So yeah, I don't feel led astray. I feel as on path as I've ever felt, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On creativity, is there anything you particularly enjoy taking photos of? Like, what are your favorite things to shoot?
This year I took a lot of soccer photos, just because, like, my contributors, like, for whatever reason, the way that their schedules were and the soccer schedules weren't able to attend a lot of soccer games. So I took, like, I think I covered seven games of soccer, and that was really fun, because, like, I don't know, people running around on a field is pretty fun to take photos of.
Not to love.
Yeah. And then I also like doing honestly, I don't think I have a favorite, to be honest. I think what makes the job fun is, like, the diversity of assignments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know you just said you don't want to pick favorites.
Oh.
But
Okay.
do you have a favorite photo or favorite photos you've taken, I guess, in your time here, but maybe before that? Like, what did you enjoy doing the most? Or what are you most proud of?
Can we, like, narrow this to the past year?
Yeah, sure. Let's say last year.
There's a photo of a soccer player. I forgot his name. This is so embarrassing. I covered so many soccer games. But Max Mint. That might be a bird. But, like, there's there's a ball that's like kind of flying by in the frame, and he's like looking at it, and it's just kind of like the ball's really close, his eyes are like really clear in that photo, and I think it's kind of an interesting photo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe when we're editing we can put it up on the screen.
Whoa.
Whoa. Or maybe we won't. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully. That's
also
not my
put the
job.
bird photos up on the screen.
Yes, many bird photos. But also on creativity and things you enjoyed doing, Photo Issue just came out. Do you want to talk about that and what that is and what it involves and how you put it together?
Photo Issue is the annual print supplement or print issue that just features work from the photo section. So usually our print supplement issues like have a bit from every section, but this one is just for photo. So this year we explored the theme of screens, like just kind of how present they currently are in our life. So I think it's composed of like 4 stories. One that looks at screens from like through the Sauder's lids down policy, not allowing laptop screens in classrooms. Another one is looking at like how filmmakers use screens to convey emotions and bring their like audiences into their worlds in that way. One is about video games and reality. Like what is real? Because if you're making relationships on like video games, like are those relationships not valid? Like, yeah, so kind of considering that. And then also a final photo piece that was only photos that looked at like kind of the glow of the screen on people's faces. So kind of a surrealist take on that. So that process started, I thought about it like a month ago, I think, because I watched a movie called I Saw the TV Glow, which I really loved. And then many things happened in the past month, and basically all the interviews, all the writing, all the photography happened in like the past week, and then it was published yesterday. So it's been a little crazy. I'm kind of a little sleep deprived right now.
Understandably so. Yeah. I guess that Photo Issue is kind of your main chance to be creative. I thought it was so cool. I loved the filmmaker piece, especially. Like all that like annotated images. I was like, wow, this is fire. But in your work more generally, like now that you're doing photography for journalism purposes and not necessarily just creatively, like do you find you still have a chance to be creative? Are there things you wish you could be doing in your work that you don't really get a chance to?
I think it's a creative medium to start with, so like kind of like just through the process of thinking about all the elements and the composition, like that is a creative act in itself. But then in terms of like kind of limitations because of journalism, like we are conveying things as they are, so we're not trying to take things out of context just to make the most dramatic like shot. I think like a lot about photojournalism is the process instead of like the end result. Otherwise, to me, that's kind of just like photography if you're only thinking about the photo. So I think something that's been tough is definitely like for culture pieces or like I think even news pieces, we're trying to show it as a whole, but when you're taking a photo of a performance, it's like really cool to get really close, but that doesn't give the proper context. So I'd say that's a challenge, is definitely when I'm selecting the photos, I'm like, oh, this is like the better photo, but then like another one represents it better, I will choose like the one that represents the piece better.
And I guess the arts and culture curse is so many things are just gonna be courtesy photos, which sucks.
Yes.
But
working on it.
yeah, we're working on changing that. So, on that, what are some of the more challenging parts of the work you do here? I guess we've touched on some things already, like a crazy schedule and courtesies and whatever, but...
Yeah, I guess, like, I think the schedule is kind of a lot, because, like, in this past month, it was, like, rugby national championships at Ubyssey, and then like right after was Board of Governors, like candidate profiles, and then like right after that was photo issue. So I think that's been really hard because you're trying to like, for photo issue, it's like a project that the photo section wants to like work on, but then there's all these other demands. So that's definitely a challenge. Man, I had something else and I totally forgot. Oh, talking to people. Yes, because I think when you're taking a photo of someone, there's like a lot of power dynamics for someone who has the camera and so-called like can tell the story versus the person who's like showcased in the story, and a lot of people are uncomfortable about that. But then at the same time, like photography is just like such a powerful medium, and like we engage with the world in a visual manner. So like I think getting people to understand that and being able to like kind of navigate that power dynamic as you're photographing like people at various events or even like in profile photos like is something that I'm still working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think this came up in a meeting or something we had recently also, but like how do you feel comfortable enough like going up to people or like getting in like the right position for a photo? And like I don't think I could do photojournalism because I'm not built like that. I love to set up an interview ahead of time. I love to know what's gonna happen and where I should be. Like I think I would feel so terrified. Just like taking photos of people and potentially running into sticky situations. So how is that something you navigate?
Oof.
Or continue to figure out how to do.
I was talking to Spencer the other day, and he's like, something you should tell editorial about is like how you deal with that and like how you go up and be like, or like interact with subjects. And I just told him like, Spencer, I have so many awkward interactions a day that like I'm so past it, they don't bother me anymore. That's my non-official answer, but maybe my truth. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, but then for like when I'm on assignment, I think, and I'm trying to be like a little bit more professional and like trying not to be awkward, then like usually I'll like go up to the organizers at the beginning. Like I took photos for the protest that the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra were doing in downtown. So like one thing I did there was like I went up to them, I was talking to them like, okay, this is kind of like a piece that we're writing, like would you be okay if I took some photos? And they were pretty good with it, because I mean if you're like protesting on like a street about your workers' rights, like yeah, like they kind of want people to know about it. So then I just kind of went around, and I think also once you put your face behind the camera, like you can't really see very much. So in a way, like okay, so you introduce yourself so people know what you're doing, and then after that you can kind of just like focus very clearly on the craft. Like I kind of, a problem I have is like I forget to breathe when I'm taking photos. Yeah, so it's just kind of something that you can really like tune yourself into, and then the self-consciousness kind of goes away. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
An unexpected risk of the job, I guess.
It's not getting oxygen. Dying. Yeah.
But yeah, before we wrap things up today, I'm gonna ask you a question that all editors have answered.
Okay.
And will continue to answer. But if you could switch lives with an editor for a day, either the specific person or the job that they do, who would you choose and why?
Is it bad if I say no one? Like,
whoa, okay, explain.
I really like my life, and I really like my job. Yeah, so I think I don't really know if I need to be inside of someone else's life. Also, that seems kind of like invasive.
Well, yes.
Like I don't really need to know your inner deepest thoughts. Well, I guess would that occur if you're switching bodies?
I don't know that you would have their thoughts necessarily.
Okay.
I was imagining it more like a like Freaky Friday situation, where like
so
you're
just
still
body
you,
swap.
just like you have to do all the other things that this person would usually do, but like you're still thinking like yourself, I think. I don't know. Interpret the question however you wish.
I will try to answer if I must switch bodies, but I'm pretty happy with my life.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yay.
Who would you most hate to be?
Thinking. Maybe you? Like,
what?
I feel like features is a lot of work, and you talk to a lot of people a day, and like, I don't know if I could talk to that many people per day. I think I would collapse.
So the moral of the story is I need to shut up, maybe.
No, no, you're a social butterfly, and I'm a social caterpillar. I am a non-social. You know what? No, okay.
No more metaphor.
No
It's
more.
gone. Or is that an analogy? I don't know. I'm no English major.
Okay.
But thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it. I've loved learning about birds and photos of birds. Do you take many photos of birds?
I want to get into it, but telescoping lenses are very expensive. So maybe one day when I have $800 to spend on an 800mm lens.
Someday
Yes.
It'll happen.
Oh, but thanks for having me.
Of course. And that was Sidney Shaw, the Ubyssey's photo editor, and you can join me next week to learn about one more member of our editorial board. And coming up in a few seconds, again, we'll be diving into a moment in Ubyssey's history with Quyen Schroeder.
Cast yourselves back to 1933. Construction on the Golden Gate Bridge begins, Babe Ruth pitches his final pitch, and Prohibition in the United States ends. At the time, UBC and its sports teams didn't actually have a mascot at all. They were just referred to as the varsity or the blue and gold. Come November, the Ubyssey wanted to change that, so they solicited suggestions for mascot names for the Mighty Men of Muscle. Next week, the Ubyssey clarified that their call for mascot names was not, in fact, a joke, and that they did, in fact, want actual, factual suggestions. They were seeking a name with a connection to the history or geography of the university, and they also wanted the name to not be the same name as fellow universities. The Ubyssey actually listed an example name, saying, quote, "An example of what might be a suitable name is the University of BC Indians." A week later, their next issue sarcastically lamented how many submissions they'd received. They wrote, "We have developed sore arms opening letters. More than two letters have been received." By December, however, numerous recommendations for the university's mascot had been sent in, including the sourdoughs, which I believe is in reference to the Gold Rush people, not the bread. There was also a suggestion of the Hornets, which is in fact my high school mascot, Stingham, and some truly inexplicable suggestions, such as the Aztecs or the Incas, which famously not on this continent. January of the next year, the ballot is released for the students to vote on their favorite of these names. The Ubyssey selected the 5 names that they thought were most appropriate, getting rid of some fun ones like the Sea Slugs and the Peewits. Fun fact, peewits is another name for the northern lapwing, a bird which is native throughout Europe and Asia and is named after its zigzagging flight pattern. Bird fact enjoyers, rejoice. The 5 names that remained for students to vote on were the Spartans, the Corsairs, the Thunderbirds, the Golden Eagles, and the Musqueams. The last one, I assume, being a clever and tasteful allusion to how our university is built on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. The next issue, the Ubyssey releases a new ballot with a lot more names on it. They'd been receiving a lot of write-in votes and thought it would be seen as more legitimate if they had all of the names on one ballot. So instead of narrowing it down to 5, they opened it up to basically all the names that were submitted. By mid-January, the results were in, and the Seagulls had won by 9 votes. A lot of reporting, including on the UBC website and the Ubyssey itself, said that the Seagulls were a write-in option, but they were actually listed on the second ballot, the one that had more names on it. And from then on, our university's mascot has been the seagull. Oh, wait. Nope. The Ubyssey, just after announcing the winner, unceremoniously shared that the contest will be reopened with 18 names dropped from the list, including seagulls. Seemingly, they did not like the name. In February, the final results are announced after redoing the polling, with the Thunderbirds winning. Once again, a lot of reports, including articles on UBC's website and the Ubyssey, have said that the Ubyssey and the university's pep club unilaterally decided the outcome. They unilaterally chose Thunderbirds. However, based on reporting that I found at the time, a second vote was actually held at a January 31st pep rally, during which the science men chanted, "We want seagulls," and 839 votes were cast for the now, once again, limited selection of potential mascots. And of those 839 votes, less than 50 voted for the outlawed seagulls. 320 of them voted for the Thunderbirds, which was more than twice what the runner-up Golden Eagles received. Now, it's important to note that the name Thunderbird was just sort of yoinked. We just sort of took it for ourselves, even though it's an important cultural symbol for a lot of indigenous people in the area. And we were just sort of using it in its yoinked state. It wasn't until October 30th, 1948, that we actually received permission to use the Thunderbird as our mascot, during which Ellen Neal of Alert Bay, BC, and Chief William Scow, the hereditary chief of the Kwakwakwakwak Nation, presented a Thunderbird totem to the university and also gave permission to use the Thunderbirds as our mascot. Fun fact, Burb the Seagull actually became the AMS's mascot. So the successful seagull vote lives on in one way or another. Personally, I think that the Corsairs would have been a rad name for our mascot, but I wasn't around back then, so I don't get to vote. I said I'd come up with a better sense line, but I didn't. So, mascot? More like ascot since 1918.
In today's episode of the Vilest Rag, you heard from Sidney Shaw, the Ubyssey's photo editor. This episode was hosted by myself, Elena Massing, the Ubyssey's features editor, and the episode was filmed and edited by Tatiana Huber and Sophie Clark. The music is by Alicia Chaudhry, and the graphics were designed by Ayla Cilliers. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.